also, if somebody would do that, we would consider that a little bit frightening
Yeah.
situation because we are not so, we don't give so strongly our opinions.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 6, this one is very strong one that I've learned about Finns. A Finn hates explanation when you have done something wrong. In this context, according to my interaction, a Finn would prefer just to hear the word "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And no explanation after that. You don't have to start explaining yourself. For example, if you come late to a meeting and then you start explaining yourself why you come late, the bus left me or something like that. I've realized that thing infuriates the Finns. Is this true?
Not necessarily. Perhaps you're coming in the middle of some situation over there and they don't want you to bother it. But it depends on the person, really.
Okay.
Really depends on the situation.
Yeah, most of my interactions actually, of course, this has not happened to me. For me, most of the time I'm on time.
Yeah.
And I try to keep my appointments. But the good thing is, most of my friends, Finnish friends that I've interacted with, they opened up to me at some point. And most of them, they had almost the same comment that they prefer people to just come and say, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And then that's it. But
in that situation.
But the culture, for example, now I use Tanzania because I'm Tanzanian, so I cannot speak for Nigerians or Kenyans or anybody. But in Tanzania, someone would say, "I'm sorry," the last statement after he has failed to bring all excuses. So if I come late, first of all, I will try to say the bus was late. Maybe there was a queue somewhere, or my wife did not wake me up on time. So I will try to find all excuses so that you see it was not my fault I'm late.
Well, it might sound like explaining the situation because really strict with time.
That is
we
what
are
has
not
been,
appreciate people coming late.
Yes, and this as for some reason it seemed to have annoyed some of Finns. They don't tell them, of course.
Yeah.
They don't tell them that I hate your explanations. Just tell me I'm sorry, and then we can go on to another thing. Yeah. But it shows most of them, they have been so much annoyed by this thing of explaining yourself instead of just saying I'm sorry. Yeah.
Depends really on the situation, in my opinion. But you can ask somebody else who are following this.
Yes, please. Only you were trying to join. Please, you can join as a co-host, and then we can also hear your thoughts. That would be fantastic.
What is your opinion?
Yes, and point number 7, a group of ordinary Finns, especially the youth, if say maybe could be in the city center, in the shopping center or something like that, if they are discussing about a particular topic, when you pass close to that group, most of the time they would freeze. And when I say freeze, I mean like real freeze. Maybe let me start by giving you an example. In my country, if we are discussing a particular topic and then someone passes by close and we don't want him to hear, we might change the topic and we may act as if nothing has happened. Yeah. So we continue with the discussion as usual. But in my interaction, I've noticed that if you pass close to the group of friends who are talking and then they don't want you to hear, they will freeze like no one will say another word. Yeah. The eyes will be stuck somewhere, so if someone can decide to look at the roof, somebody can decide to look at the floor, and then they're like, no movement.
Yes, that's true. And also, we don't want to if we are having a topic on something very important or sensitive stuff with a group of friends, we just stay quiet until the person passes by, and we can continue on the same topic.
Yes, and
I think that's what we do.
Yes, and this is a very important because for me and people, I would say from my culture, it brings a wrong interpretation in this sense that if you don't want me to hear what you have been discussing, that means you were discussing about me. Okay. Yes, I had the same feelings when I first came until later when I learned that, okay, this is the Finnish culture. Even my other friends, they get also mad. Like, these people, they are talking about us. You see now the way they froze, you see?
But we also think that.
Yeah.
We have the same feeling.
So that's
They are talking about me.
yeah. So
I'm looking funny or
that's
something.
very much important to know. Yeah, that is just the culture. So you could be talking about some maybe lady.
Yeah.
It's not even about me, but when I pass, you just
Yeah.
shut up and freeze.
Yeah. We say, nyt sieltä tulee joku, somebody's coming. And then,
Very interesting.
yes, we do that. At least I do with my friends, so. Yeah.
So now you know. Number 8. Most of the Finns appreciate and take pride at Finnish things, regardless of the status of that thing. And let me start by giving an example. In my country, when people are being, advised to purchase, for example, local things, they would say, yes, they are local, but they are not as good as foreign products, maybe products from US. So somebody would prefer to buy a shoe from US than a shoe from Tanzania because it's not that good.
Yeah.
But I've realized this is different for Finns. A Finn would rather buy a local, low quality product that is Finnish and say this is a Finnish product, than taking pride to the foreign product.
Well, I'm not sure. I would buy something that would have more quality than the Finnish product.
Okay.
If the price is almost the same, but we also have lots of pride and how do you say, we appreciate also things that come from Finland. So that is also true, but I don't have an answer for that.
Great. Likewise, in the language, I've realized Finns have very much pride in the language and culture and history of Finland.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I have not followed up my own history and culture from Tanzania so much, but for Finns, I've realized maybe you have that stronger connection to the history, culture, and language than Tanzania, I would say, or than most of the country.
Well, we have some kind, because we had so long history that we belong to Sweden and then we belong to Russia. And then we actually, the culture that we are now having come from the 1900 actually. And then we also, because we are such a young nation, that might be also the reason we have such a pride towards our culture. But that is true. That really is true that we evaluate our language and culture much.
Yes. So you should understand now. This is okay. This is now my own philosophy that, and it might not be correct. That even this tightening of the conditions for immigrants in Finland, being forced to learn the language, some people would say, okay, you have to do this because it will help you find the jobs. For me, what I've been feeling is because some Finns are more strict, especially those in power, and this pride over the language is so big that they cannot accommodate seeing other people, using foreign languages amongst the Finn. So they would have to tighten the policies to make sure that the language is being maintained.
Yeah.
And goes forward. One time, I don't remember exactly where, but I think I heard someone, an elder, she was complaining that the youth nowadays, they use more English words in their language.
Yes.
And she was really mad. And that's when I understood, okay, so it's not just about communication. This is about maintaining Finnish language as pure as it is.
It's true. And that is the development that you can see all over the world.
Yeah.
English people in Sweden use that, young people, and also in other countries they use words that are originally English.
Yeah.
So it's not all about Finland, it's about other places as well. But there also is a discussion about that language is getting weaker and we don't remember that the language is changing all the time.
Yes.
And the language changes throughout the history. For example, English language sounded completely different.
That's very true. I think it's unavoidable. As long as people interact, there will be changes.
Yes, there will be changes.
Yes. Maybe they will come slowly and late. Yeah, but definitely. Yes.